Coming at you on our first Saturday live, baby. We're doing NBA tonight. We're talking everything. I mean, really here and there, this and that. He's Mr. KC from the 813, and I'm that dude with the beard. And obviously, we're glad to be here with you once again. And like I said, this time we are live. Mr. KC, how you doing, my man?
My man, that dude with a beard, I'm hanging in here doing great on a nice Saturday night live. You know, it's a nice NBA edition. We'll talk a
Yes,
little
sir.
extra sports and a couple other little things. But we're excited to have everyone here for this Saturday Night Live episode of some NBA action.
Yes, sir.
That dude with the beard. We're doing the NBA around the court action. Can you tell me who are the top teams right now? What are we looking at? Who you liking right now?
Man, I just, I'm gonna have to just lay it out simple. Everybody who watches, you've seen the various Laker jerseys. You've seen me wearing the various Laker jerseys. I'm a Lakers fan. We are not it right now, but we'll talk about us later. We will be back. But right now, the number one team in the NBA, without a shadow of a doubt, is the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis, he always keeps them a perennial contender, dude. I mean, he's unstoppable. Like I remember
He's a freak.
think, dude, he granted the nickname, exact, no pun intended. Dude, like he's a freight train. He's everything that we thought LeBron was when he was that age, but like 10 times more dangerous. Like the body on this man, like and the way he can move up and down the court, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But the Bucks are the best team in basketball. There's no doubt about it. Behind them, I would have to put Portland. My boy Dame Dollar out there in Portland going crazy. Um,
Getting it.
Dude, he's dropping
Might
dimes
have to
like his
buy
nickname
his CD.
hints.
He keeps it up, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, you got to get the mixtape. Between them, shoot, man, Utah, Phoenix. I'm not trying to stay in the West, but dude, that's where pretty much most action is. The Grizzlies records
Well,
may
it's
not
every
show it,
year.
but yeah, no, for sure, dude. The East, I remember, back in the days, we're semi older folk here. We're not as ancient, but back in our day, the East used to be feasible. But then,
Yeah.
we hit this stretch where it's just like it's West Coast. So we can't really argue too much about that. The Cavaliers are balling right now. What am I talking about? They're 7-1. I mean, which is
Yeah.
shocking. It's early in the season, but don't get me wrong. I mean, the lineup is pretty decent. They have enough to where I think they could win the eighth seed. I don't know how long this 7-1 business is gonna last, but we're gonna
Right.
definitely take a look and see. Um, Perennial front runners for me in my mind. I know you didn't ask me, but it just comes to my mind. I'm thinking it's gonna
Right.
be like a probably a Milwaukee. I'm almost going as far as to say a Phoenix and Milwaukee finals. Maybe I'm early with it. It's early in the season. Um, you can switch out Phoenix anytime and put Golden State there if they go on a tear. You can switch them out. You can probably put Memphis there. I got a lot of faith in Memphis. Y'all have heard me talk about John Morant several times. He's my guy. I'm gonna roll with him. Hopefully my Lakers can turn it around, but if we don't trade Westbrook, I don't know what's gonna be the situation with that. Off the bench might be better, but we're gonna see. But
Yeah.
those are
What's
my
up
few
with
top
that?
teams.
You
Oh man, dude.
you think
Go ahead. I'm
Westbrook's
sorry.
really leaving? You think
Um,
Westbrook will ever really leave the Lakers? Because they've been trying to
yeah,
do it for a year now. It seems like since he got there, he unpacked his bags and they were like, "Can we trade this man?" And he's
dude.
coming off the bench real hot. Look, he's
Yeah,
a great sixth man. I think right now, it's way too early in the conversation, obviously, but I feel
right.
like he has great sixth man potential. And
No, you're
in,
not
in my
lying.
opinion, Westbrook's problem is he thinks he can lead a team. So if you give him the bench
The
warmer team,
rings.
he can lead
Right.
that, and he can do that well. And I think that keeps the Lakers in competition. You got a nice bench like Westbrook.
Right. No, I agree with you. I don't think it's more of a matter of getting him out of there because my thing is he's on the book, so you just got to find some way to accommodate him. Best way, like you said, to fit the team to win, and it seemed like the 6 man position might be it. He's shooting better since he's come off the bench, scoring more
Yeah.
points. He seemed to be more effective, especially on defense. I mean, he's giving the optimum effort. Like I said, I mean, my Lakers, man. I don't know if we're gonna be feasible, man. I always believe in AD. He's my boy. I've been wanting him to be a Laker since New Orleans had drafted him. Man, you ask anybody around me, personally, folks. He knows my some of my family. He knows my brother. You can ask my brother, Mr. Casey. I've been wanting him, and when we got him, we got a chip. But now it just seems like we need something else. I think the LeBron era of the NBA has come to an end because the Lake Show ain't Lake Showing. It's the only way I
Right.
can say it. Like we're underwhelming right now, and it's honestly hard to watch as a fan. But dude,
Speaking of underwhelming, I hate to cut you off, but what
no,
about
I'm
these?
bewildered.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. It's hard to love a team and watch them not be as good as they should be. And they've
Right?
really been that the whole LeBron era of the Lakers. Even when they won a
Yeah.
championship, it was still a rough year for them. It wasn't an easy
Yeah.
streak, even with
Right.
AD, LeBron, and
Right.
everybody that's on the team. They've
Right.
got a roster, they got a lineup. But
Right.
I think it's real early in the season. But we start talking about underwhelming. Can we talk about the Golden State Warriors?
Oh
The six, the worst, the best six lost team so far. What do we make of these
man.
Golden State Warriors? What's going on up
Uh,
there?
dude. Besides just poor play on the court, I think it's just locker room turmoil that has been resolved in the media's eyes, but obviously not resolved in the locker room and on the court, man. I think the whole Draymond Jordan Poole situation has pulled over, if you will, pun intended on that end. Um,
Right?
and I just, there has to be some kind of move made here, and I don't know as Steve Kerr and the GM out there. I don't know what move that would be because I mean, you got a guy like Draymond who's supposedly been your glue, your backbone of your team, but then you got Jordan Poole who's a promising, I mean, really one of the best young guards in the NBA. You got a guy like that who you can build a future with, along with Curry and however many years he got left in the tank and Clay. And I just think right now, maybe they could turn it around somewhere down the season. But as far as right now as to why they're not clicking, I think it's just locker room turmoil. I don't really think there's a lot of things resolved in there, and it's showing itself on the court pretty much.
Yeah, I'm right there with you because I think Steph's doing everything he can this season, but Clay and Green aren't really filling up the shoes they need to. And it's kind of hard to watch. This should be an easy dynasty team in my opinion with these shooters out there.
you
Transforming the
would think.
game really.
You would think, man, because I mean, you look at the roster; it's pretty much topping down the same championship run team, and it's been underwhelming. Like I said, dude, to be what are they 3-7 right now, dude? It's unthinkable that you wouldn't think the Warriors would be at the bottom of the barrel. But like I said, I mean, they're down there chilling with the Lakers amongst other teams who are
Yeah.
kind of underwhelming. Like just to be honest with you, I mean, granted, it made me think of the Rockets. They're always promising in mind, but dude, there's just so much going on. The NBA is it's a fickle lady sometimes. I'll
Right.
say that.
Well, let's do everyone a favor and get out of California. This
You
is
are
this is
right.
a terrible. This is a rough state for basketball right now. What
Golly.
about these 76ers? One of my favorite teams in the East with
Mm,
Mr. Joel Embiid, one of
mm,
my favorite
mm, mm.
players. I think it's a funky kind of start, and I'm wondering if they can compete this year.
Man, uh, they can compete. I mean, it's the East. You would always think they would have a chance to win. As far as especially having a guy like Embiid who's a perennial, I would say perennial MVP candidate. I mean, when healthy, when on, he really does carry the team. I mean, when you really look at him, you don't really see anybody else. I mean, maybe Tobias Harris sometimes. You got PJ Tucker. I mean, you don't really have too many people down there that's balling. So I mean, to make a run at a title, probably not. But to be in contention, at least a playoff team, I could see that on them. I could see that for 76ers
Yeah,
right now.
yeah,
But beyond
yeah. And
that,
thankfully
dude,
they
unless they
are in
make a
the
splash with a trade, yeah,
yeah. And luckily for them, they're in the East, so they've got us at least making the playoffs. It's
right.
just an interesting view, I think.
Granted,
Yeah,
everything shakes their way, and then barring injuries, of course. But like I said, if they can get somebody to kind of help fill the void, 'cause like I said, I mean, you don't have nobody balling down there right now because James Harden is hurt. I forget how long he's going to be down. So I mean, that's your perennial scorer right there already down. So we'll see how the guys try to step up and fill up their shoes. Well, fill his shoes as far as that point differential. But we just, like I said, it's rough. NBA is rough right now. It's so rough.
yeah.
It's a rough product all the way around right now. Um, but yeah,
But I,
getting out like
but
getting out of there.
on on their behalf, though, it's in the early parts of the season. I think the NBA is always kind of rough. Until you start getting towards those Christmas games kind of area. I think that's when the NBA really starts getting real hot and fun to watch.
Yeah,
Everyone's dialed in. You can kind of tell who's going to be the teams and who aren't. I think some of
yeah,
this is a lot of overreaction too. When we see teams like the Lakers and Golden State being terrible when they should be better, it's a long grind of a season.
right. And you're no, I totally agree with you because that's what we're saying. We were sitting there talking about who was 7-1. I have to think about it again for a second. We was talking about it. It was Milwaukee, Cleveland.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
Like Cleveland, they're
Cleveland.
7-1 right now. I'm like, how are you better? How are you better right now? Well, well, like I said, they don't have that locker room turmoil out west either, and they got guys who's fairly hungry. So I just answered my own question with that, but we'll see.
Right.
Like I said, as far as how far they can take it into the season, dude, it'll be amazing to watch. I would say that, but we're gonna see so far on that end, man. The East is always in my mind kind of wide open because the West you can kind of narrow it down to teams. I mean, in the East you can say Boston is probably gonna be in the mix. You can just throw random
Yeah.
teams in there after like maybe a solid two or three. So I mean, we'll see what happens. And not a hater on the Eastern Conference at all. I'm just saying that's just the way it's been shaken these last few years. So it's just kind of what it is. Because in my opinion, Milwaukee's probably going to run away with it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, with Greek Freak, it's an easy ability to.
Dude,
He reminds me of Kevin Durant, but just
mhm.
more solid built, so he can stay a little healthier. And
Right,
just and when you got a guy that's that big and can ball just like that, it's unstoppable.
dude.
It's almost like LeBron was a little bigger than Jordan, so he looks like he's a bodybuilder out here dunking on people.
Right,
And then you get Kevin Durant, who's a little taller, a beanpole, smashing it. But then you
right,
get that kind of mix almost of like a LeBron and a
right.
Kevin Durant with the Greek Freak, and it's just,
Man,
whew,
man.
I'm glad I'm too short and can't jump because I'd hate to play against him. That'd be a
No,
tough
well,
task.
there's some guys you just don't jump with, and he's one of them. So you just kind of step to the side and
Yeah.
let him do his thing on that, unless you want to end up on a poster. So,
Yeah, he's gonna end up on the back wall before long.
right, I would say
That's
unless you want to end up behind me, you might want to stay out his way. But if you do get in his way, we'll thank you for the lovely scenery because you will make it to the wall. I promise that. Um, but yeah, dude, enough about the East and the West on that end. I do want to ask you one question here about the NBA. As far as the product right now in its entirety, we've seen it pretty much grow over the years. We've seen it become an international game. Do you feel like the home product of the NBA, from what we see as Americans, since it kind of started in this area, Canada, America, that kind of situation? Do you really think that the product that we're getting is kind of watered down from what we're used to seeing back? I would say even from 2000 to 2000 and almost till 2016, almost. I would say.
Yeah, to me, it's a funky conversation because it depends on what you mean by watered down. It's not the same physicality game. There's not so much low post dunks, and
Right.
stuff like that. It's become a shooter league. It was Steph Curry is the face of a franchise, and you look in the early 2000s, it was Ray Allen was that shooter, but he was more of
Right.
a rogue man. You look
Right.
at his
True.
championships with LeBron and stuff. He wasn't the face of the team, even though he carried the team. But
Right.
I think that just opened the door for a shooting NBA. You see a lot more 5 feet behind the arc shots than I ever seen growing up. That was.
Man.
I remember when Kobe was starting to do it. And I feel like he
Right.
was kind of the pioneer for that because he would start. Well, you're 3 feet back. Well, hey, I can still hit it from here. So,
Right.
in one way, I see it as a physicality thing, and the other, I don't think it's really soft. I think the game has just evolved, and you got to always pay attention to that. And I think it will swing back and you're kind of seeing it with like teams like Milwaukee, where you need a big man. You got to have the big man because that's what's going to counteract that shooting shenanigans.
No, I agree with you because when I think of it, me personally, it kind of seems like the NBA, they when the NFL changes, the NBA changes because I feel like they're almost one and the same as far as a
Yeah,
product because the NFL is by far a passing league now. And like you said, it reminds me of the NBA. It's a shooting league. Like there's not too many you see like we used to see stellar running backs hitting holes, running people through the river. Running backs getting 25, almost 30 touchdowns a season. You know what I'm saying? We're
right.
going from that to quarterbacks getting almost on average. Like if you don't get at least 45 touchdowns, like they consider you a bum at this point in this kind of passing lane. And it's almost the same way for the 3 point shot. So, I in retrospect, the game has evolved. I mean, and it's still a good product in my opinion, but it's definitely taken just like anything that's trying to get better, taking certain step backs in certain areas where us just as consumers or fans would just be like, well, that's not even the game. Like it's not the game that we know. But maybe it's us as fans needing to evolve with the product. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really what I think it is. It's just old heads saying, "What's going on with this rock and roll?" But I don't like this. This isn't
Oh,
good. This isn't right. I
okay,
think that's
right.
more of what it is than I'd say a soft NBA or anything like that.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, I was just wondering. I had to ask you. I needed your opinion on it. 'Cause like I said, dude, I mean, the product is still good, but it's definitely like it's just a different era. It's a different time. So we'll leave that at that for you.
Right.
Because you can't get no better than what we got right now. Like I said, and the shooting is remarkable. I'm not being a hater or nothing, dude. I wish I could just stop, hit a half court three, and no one's going to turn around and get set for defense like most of these dudes do. Like it's incredible. It's amazing.
I, I think it opens it up for those smaller guys too. You don't have to be 6'7" no more. You can
Right.
really be a 6'3" guy and still make the league now.
Right. And kind of impact the game in a dominating way, especially if you just splashy enough, especially from anywhere on the floor. Yeah. So, yeah, the game is
Yeah,
definitely
it's
changing.
such a yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah, it's a wild
Well,
movement.
yes, sir.
Well,
No, I
folks,
feel
I
you.
think that's our little NBA segment for the night. And we're going to move into a couple fun little categories, a couple little fun conversations. We're going to start out with our first King of the Hill segment. King of the Hill. We're going to name someone and we're going to keep going until they get replaced and someone takes the King of the Hill.
Hmm.
For that dude with the beard, I'm going to start off with the NBA section.
Okay.
And the first guy on our list, we're going to go Kobe Bryant. Who's better? Is it Kobe Bryant or LeBron James?
Dude, the Bucks stop. This was a real question. It's Kobe
This is a
Bryant.
real question.
Without a shadow,
This
without
this
a
this is
shadow of
oh this is an
no.
argument on the
I,
internet.
I don't know why
Kobe.
these
All right.
folk they're insane. Did they not? Kobe, forgive
All
these
right.
folks.
All
Do
right.
they
We got
not
to go a
stop
little
what they
harder
say?
here. we got to go a little harder here. We'll leave LeBron James to the side. He ain't the guy.
Please.
What about Michael Jordan? Are we
Michael
Kobe or are we
Jordan?
going Jordan?
We're still going Kobe Bryant. We're going
Kobe
Kobe
Bryant.
Bean
Ooh.
Bryant. Kobe Bean
Ooh.
Bryant. If you need a guy to hit you a 3-point game-winning shot, or anywhere on the floor for that matter, you can call MJ for the mid-ranger danger, but you can call Kobe for everything. Anywhere.
Yeah.
He can't do. Jordan's interview tell himself, the only guy who could beat me is Coke. He's stealing my moves. Acting like basketball's not an evolution. Everybody after certain people and conducting it into the. Like I said, Kobe. No MJ. Kobe.
All right, I'm gonna go one more. I got one more for you. Even though I think that's a close one. That's more of an argument. What about Will Chamberlain? Are we going Will Chamberlain or are we going Kobe Bryant?
Dude, that's too hard to even talk about because these are different eras of basketball. Like
Completely.
Will Chamberlain was almost the standard in his era behind guys like Bill Russell and stuff though. But if I had to take a player between the two to start a friend, Kobe or Will to start a franchise.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
gonna take Bean. I'm gonna still take Bean, man. You gotta take Kobe Bean, man. You gotta do it.
I thought that was
Will Chamberlain. If you would have said Kareem, I would have folded on that one. But if it's Wilt, I'm taking Bean still. I'm still gonna take Bean on that one. I got to.
I thought Will was gonna be the man. I was saving Kareem. I was keeping him in the pocket. I thought Wilt might be the guy to take over.
Oh no, man, dude.
Yeah, but that's the NBA. We'll have a new NBA list for you guys next week for sure for King of the Hill.
Man.
We'll have to leave rest in peace Kobe Bryant alone and let him take this week's throne. He is the King of the Hill this week.
Yes, sir, Kobe Bean. Well, shoot, since you gave me basketball, I might as well go ahead and naturally give you a football one here. We doing King of the Hill. Okay, so we'll start off here. With an interesting conversation I've had amongst folk recently. I'm gonna start off with this one. Peyton Manning, if you want to put him at the top in this particular scenario. Is Drew Brees better than Peyton Manning?
No, I'm going Peyton Manning. Listen, I know the numbers would say Drew Brees, but I watched Peyton Manning.
Super Bowl.
Look, Omaha. Listen to me, Omaha. Look what that man did. Dead. Man was damn near dead. Still got him his last second ring. Look, Drew Brees is an underrated player, but he was also an underachiever. And I tell you what, Peyton Manning. Yeah, maybe not for stats. You know, you start looking at yardage, touchdowns. He checks all the box. Don't get him mistaken. And he did okay in the playoffs and whatnot. But I'd like to see Brees with a little more hardware before I'm going to take him over Peyton Manning. Look, I'm not even a Peyton Manning fan, but I respect the man as a great quarterback.
He said more hardware.
He knows it.
More hardware. Okay. All right. Eli Manning and Peyton Manning.
Eli or Peyton?
Eli. Or Peyton.
Eli. Give me Eli. The Brady Slayer. Listen, he got his 2 rings first. He came in the league after his brother. This is never talked about. Came in the league after his brother and beat the Tom Brady, the GOAT. Man. He's the original GOAT Slayer. Before OBD Nick Foles came out, it was Eli Manning, and people forgot that.
I'm trying to tell you, they forget it every time. I'm so glad to hear you say that. I'm so glad. Eli, you're the king of the hill, baby. You've done it. You slayed Big Brother. You slayed Big Brother. You sent them on to the shed because Thanksgiving dinner was uncomfortable. Sitting there when Eli had them 2 rings. Archie's like, Eli, will you carve the turkey this year? He's like, yes, Father. Both rings while he's reaching for the knife. Peyton, could you hand me the knife? Peyton couldn't stand it. Had to put in a call to Goodell.
Can we talk about that still legendary throw to OBJ? Like, That's like a top 10 all time NFL play too.
Flexing.
You
Stop
know,
playing, dude.
look, his brother had better numbers and he's a smarter quarterback and all this, but man, Eli
Eli
just knew
got
how to
that grit,
ball,
boy.
man. In his
He got
prime,
that.
he could ball.
He got that. I got some dirt in my mouth. Let's go win this game, fellas. Like, let's
Yeah,
go do it. Like, boy, yeah, I'm with you on that. Eli had his fair share of highlight plays too. Like people, yeah, they don't put enough respect on Eli. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah,
Eli man
nobody
deserves
does.
more respect. They don't, and I don't know how. I don't know why not. He's the original. Take
Yeah,
my team from the wild card to the Super Bowl and win the whole thing. Like, stop playing, dude. Thank you. Eli, like I said, you got it this week. I don't know if you're gonna hold up next week because I'm gonna have some hitters coming after you, but you took out Big Brother this week.
yeah.
Kudos. Cheers to you, my man. Yes, sir. King of the Hill, wrapped and wrapped. Yes, sir. Good old Eli, man.
All right. That's the King of the Hill segment. It's a fun one. I'm a big fan of that one.
Yeah, I like
Moving
that.
on from the King of the Hill, let's talk a little sports betting for a quick minute. You got a favorite game this week that you feel comfortable putting a couple little dollars on? What's your game you putting a
Actually,
couple dollars on?
well, first and foremost, of course, I got to put some money on these Chiefs to win. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Um, they're already, I believe, we're favorited already in this game. I got to double check the line. I didn't check the line today because it fluctuates.
Right.
So this is game time decisions,
It's a
folks.
big
So
line.
yeah, I'm trying to tell you, but I got money on Kansas City. I'm also gonna put some money. Let me see here. Who was the other game I had lined up? Oh, Miami. Ha! Begrudgingly,
Yes. Oh, you stealing my
begrudgingly.
bets here.
Begrudgingly, I had to. You inspired it. I had to do it. Like, dude,
Man.
yes, I got Miami, and I got one more, which is I'm painting to be not an upset, but it's gonna be one that could yield you a good amount of dollars. I'm gonna put some money on Jacksonville to beat the Raiders.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's smart, safe money. It's
Yeah,
sad to say, I really would win that game. That should be safe money.
it should
An
be.
interesting bet I think might be is actually the Jets over the Bills. People ain't
I
paying
started
attention to
to
that.
go there. I started to go there. Ooh, talk to me.
Yeah. Look, you take the money line, just the money line. If the Jets win that, you put in so much money in your pocket. There's a lot of value there, but that's also how they build hotels in Vegas. So the Jets
Exactly.
won. I would put half a unit. I wouldn't make a full bet on them, but I wouldn't mind getting a little taste to see if I can't
Right.
get couple little extra dollars. I can turn a half
Right.
unit into a full unit, if you know what I'm talking about here, folks. And
Yes, sir.
you start getting a whole bird. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm trying to tell
It's
you. No, real
yes,
talk, straight up and down.
yeah,
Hmm. I
yeah.
like
I'm a
that.
big fan of
I'm,
your picks there.
oh yeah, me too, dude. You got me reconsidering. Looks like I might have to add a fourth. Might have to, man,
Yeah,
because if these
I
just
might,
walk away with that, dude.
and I'm thinking
This,
I might put a couple dollars on a little Golden State game. I think look around and see if I can't find one because they're going to start getting the underdog status, and that's where you start seeing value. And I wouldn't mind
right.
seeing them turning it around because I don't think they're really as bad as their record shows.
No.
So I can see that. I might wait a week before I put some money on Golden State here, folks. So don't lose your money and blame me just yet. This is a cautionary tale. All these bets are at your own risk. Don't be afraid to gamble your own way. Is what I'm
Right.
basically saying.
Right. Because next week, baby, you gotta, like I said, look into these college situations. I'm putting some money on my Buckeyes. Also,
Mm,
Portland, the Trailblazers, back to NBA real quick. They got some favorable matches up. I said matches up. Some favorable matchups, folk, that I plan on taking advantage of. So you might want to watch them, watch the line, watch them play, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Can't give you full details, but we'll
right.
we'll give you some tidbits here real quick.
Yeah, yeah. And folks, that's our gambling segment. We really appreciate you guys tuning in for that.
Yes,
Moving on
sir.
from there, we're gonna go to nap time. This means don't go to folks. This means who are you sleeping on? This is the
Right.
underrated players of the week, where we give someone their shine that is not getting the spotlight that they deserve. That dude
Yes,
with the
sir.
beard. I'm gonna leave it off to you and see who are we sleeping on this week.
My most slept on player this week. Honestly, he's kind of not even slept on, but I haven't heard his name mentioned not one time in an MVP race, not one time mentioned as even being like a top quarterback right now, and it's Jalen Hurts. I know, like I said, I know they're undefeated. Like I said, they're not slept on, but he slept on. I
Right.
mean, what he's doing and the way he's performing, the way he's carrying that Philadelphia offense, getting the ball down. I mean, dude, you don't hear him not even nowhere near the MVP talk. Everything
Yeah,
is
you
Josh Allen this, Josh Allen that. You don't hear
and I
nothing about
bet
Jalen.
you I like that pick because I bet you if you ask someone for a top five quarterback list, 9 out of 10 of them ain't putting Hurts on there.
Hmm. For sure, without a
You
doubt,
know,
dude.
so even though he's undefeated, and his going back to last season too, if you look at it.
That's
So
what I'm saying. Everybody's in a sleep number. Everybody went to
yeah,
bed on him. Must be getting some
yeah,
good rest because, like I said, he's so slept on, and like, dude. Anyway, I could go on about it. He slept on.
right.
Who do you have, Mister KC? Who's your nap time player of the week?
Well, the nap time player of the week is gonna go, and this is gonna wake up, folks. Wake up, wake up. Russell Westbrook. Here, put some respect on my man's name. He's coming off the bench, but he is better than what all the hate he gets. Everyone loves to diss on Westbrook like it's his fault the Lakers aren't doing great. Listen, he was
Right.
supposed to be a role player anyway. Him coming off the bench is a great move for the Lakers, and he is balling out with it. Give me Russell Westbrook, and people are going to be surprised when the Lakers don't trade him because he's doing too much, and no one's going to pay the price that it's going to take to get Westbrook.
No, I agree with you on that end. Nobody's going to pay that ticket, but he is definitely slept on. He does receive a lot of slander. You're not lying. They talk greasy about him. Really, they kind of drag him through the
Bad man.
mud.
You,
So,
you,
oof,
I didn't see him slap the little baby, but you would think he did or something.
you would think, right? You would think, like, oh my goodness, dude, I never
All
even.
right.
Yeah, yeah, he's
All right,
I,
folks. That's our sleepy time segment. We got one last final segment. It's time for the garbage. Garbage time. Who is the overrated player? Who would you ain't got to be overrated? He could be a regular person. You got to take a one final minute to talk some trash about the guy you just want to talk some trash about. That dude with a beard. Please bless us with a holy minute of some good garbage time.
well, what led my heart this week to hate on this man is the same thing that leads me to do it every week. Joe Burrow and his Cincinnati Bengals are just gonna keep doing what I say until I get it on a T-shirt. The Bengals are gonna bangle, and oh my God, trash! Stop playing. I don't want to hear nothing from a Bengal fan for the foreseeable future. Your bottom barrel, look, you're the black stuff under the corn at the very bottom. That kind of stuff. It's nasty. You're Stop. It's over.
Right.
You had your time. You had your highlight moment. You won your Super Bowl when you beat Kansas City in the championship game. Kudos. Cheers to you. Right off into the sunset, Joe Cool. Supposedly they want you to be Joe Namath so bad. I can keep going on. You're done. I'm done. I need 5 minutes. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Mr. KC, let me stop. Who Lay it on me, man. I can't even get my words together. Lay it on me, man. Who you got?
Well, I'm a big fan of your
Who's the
pick
bottom
there.
barrel?
Yeah. And I'm actually going to stay in the NFL too. And I know this is our Saturday basketball show, but we do whatever we want. And I had an honorary mention of Russell Wilson, but since it's such an easy target, I'm leaving him alone. But I'm going to stay in the AFC West. That's
Okay.
Justin Herbert,
Oh
who
my
is turning
God.
into the
Yeah.
most overrated quarterback. Look, I should be talking and making fun of Russell Wilson or Derek Carr.
Man.
Easy
Man.
targets. We know they're trash. The problem is people still hype up Herbert like he's some King Kong ding dong gonna win the West. And look where we're at. Look where we're at with Herbert. If you spend all that money on his rookie card, I feel bad for you, son. Like, this is just a bad look all around. How are you going to be the Chargers supposed to win the West and you got Justin Herbert not doing nothing for the team? Look, nothing but backup wide receivers this week. Watch what he does. Goose eggs. He ain't doing nothing. And you heard it here first, the day before, if you're live, or the day of, if you're catching this after it's aired. And folks, this is our garbage time. We took out the trash. Don't forget, next week we'll be doing it again. And we enjoy our garbage time moment.
Dude, that was beautiful. I couldn't have said that better. I felt every piece of it. Like there was nothing you said that was not factual. And when you were saying it, it brought so much joy to my life. And I'm so glad that was your take. Oh my God, wonderful. What they say, spectacular, spectacular, Mr. Casey. Couldn't ask for a better segment on that one. Couldn't ask for
Yeah. And speaking of mwah, that's how I felt about this whole episode. That dude with the beard. Do you have any final statements? Any closing arguments for the folks?
folks. Don't bet on the Bengals. Always bet against them.
Big money on
Don't
that.
bet on the Broncos. Always bet against them. Last week, like I said, they can win when they're not in America, but they're back in America now. Everything is smooth sailing. It's right back on track. We appreciate y'all being here. I love y'all. I love that we can do this live, that y'all tune in, or even if you catch us the next day because you're still tuning in. If you got any questions or comments for me, Mr. KC, let us know. If there's certain basketball teams you want to hear about, certain players you want to have opinions on, if you have an opinion on them, leave it for us. We'll love to talk about it. But until then, Giannis is the man out there. The Bucks are rolling Dame Dollar. Keep holding Portland down. I'm rocking with you. Mr. KC, you got anything for the folks?
Yeah, I just want to agree with you there. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Don't sleep on the 76ers or the Mavs this year. It's a little quiet, little pick, a little throwing it in late. And don't forget to join us tomorrow night for Sunday Night Football. We will be doing a live Chiefs watch party. You come in, join in, eat your popcorn. We'll be describing the game for folks and enjoying this Chiefs Sunday victory.
Yes, sir. Gotta get it. Gotta get it. This has been the Bold Podcast, Bold Predictions Podcast. It's a bold podcast, too. Double up.
You're right.
He's Mr. KC from 813. I'm that dude with the bill. See y'all tomorrow.